Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. In this video we're going to have another look at Broken Sword on Evercade, and there's something not quite right about it. Now I did highlight this in my sort of first impressions video looking at Broken Sword on Evercade. Now Broken Sword 2 is absolutely fine, but the first one, I felt the character animations are running way too fast, and it's not right. That's not the version I was used to playing, and it's not how it really should be, and it sort of brings up some issues further on into the game. Now without further ado, let's get stuck into the video and I'll try and explain what's happening.
I contemplated crawling under the umbrella and pretending none of this had ever happened.
Okay, so before we get started, this was actually raised in a few different places on Reddit, on Facebook. Lots of people have noticed that the speed of the character animations is way too quickly. However, if you've never actually played this game before, you probably might not necessarily notice the difference. But like me, if you've played this a lot, and I have played this a lot of times over the years, it was quite obvious right away that something wasn't quite right. Now, they did release this official sort of announcement, so to speak. It's not really official. It was posted in Reddit, and I think there's probably been posted a few other places. So basically, I think Evercade is using the NTSC version, and that's because it was released a couple of years after, or about a year and a bit after the PAL version that was released in Europe, and it obviously includes a few changes, and according to this, it fixes a game-breaking glitch that occurred later in the game. It'd be interesting to know what exactly that was, which is fair enough. So they're using the NTSC version. Now, initially I thought that the NTSC version is causing the speed differences between console and PC versions, but the game itself seems to be running fine. It's just those character animations, and I just feel at times throughout the game it causes problems. The sort of movements are a bit jittery, the sort of kicking in of different stages, trying to grab sort of minute objects when you need to makes it really, really difficult. The timing has to be perfect, and there's a specific scene near the end of the game, or in the middle of the game, sorry. It's an absolute impossible feat to actually do. I'm sure Blaze have probably done it in their testing, but it still doesn't seem right to me. For me, those animations are way too quick, and I'm not necessarily sure it's related to the NTSC version. It could well be emulation, but for me, I think I would really like to see it fixed, because it's not right for me. It's not how I remember playing the games, and it does cause some issues. But let's have a look at some of the examples so you can actually understand what I'm talking about. Now, there's lots of examples throughout the game, but right away you'll notice that the character animations of Inspector Russo, that basically walks off the screen very slowly, or should do, actually goes really, really quickly, and it's just unnaturally slow. Right here, he's just walking way too fast. You can see the animation of the digger in the background is extremely quick as well. Now, this scene is even worse, where you look in the trash can and the cat scampers out so quickly you barely even notice what the heck it is. That's not right. That is completely wrong in my book. That's not how it should be. Now, this is the reforged version that I purchased recently on Steam, because I'm a big fan of Broken Sword. I've played all the different versions and really enjoy it. You can skip between both the old graphics and the new style graphics, but this basically highlights how the speed should be while playing the game, and this is how I remember playing it on the PAL version back on the original PlayStation back in the day. Yep, you can switch between the two graphic styles to get the original PC and that, but you can see the character animation is walking how it should be, and naturally so. Now, moving on, you can maybe see the character walking speed here as well. George is walking normally, but if you look at the version we have in Evercade, George is walking so ridiculously fast. Now, there's a lot of different animations and all the characters throughout each stage, and you'll notice that the animations are very, very quick. So what I'm doing in this section is basically looking at this trash can again, so that you get the cat that scampers out really quickly. And you'll see it does scamper out quickly, but you can actually see what it is, and it's a little bit slower. You can see it's a cat, and you can obviously tell. In the Evercade version, it goes so quick you have no idea what the heck that was. Now, I have actually finished the game on the Steam Deck, the reforged version, recently, and it's really, really cool. So I did get to the end of the game, just a little sneak peek till we actually got back to the finale that's based in Scotland, which is quite cool. But anyway, guys, let's switch back to the Evercade version and one of the issues that I have with it right now. Now, near a sort of middle sort of part of the game, you eventually get to Ireland, and you will encounter the goat. And that itself, the animations are ridiculously quick. And that's, as soon as you see it, it's so noticeably bad that you know that it's a problem. But that's not necessarily an issue. Actually completing the goat challenge isn't really a problem. It's an issue after this section that becomes a little bit of an issue. Now, as I said earlier, if you've never played this game before and you're experiencing this for the first time, you will never notice the problem. You might necessarily notice that, yes, the characters are running comically fast. There's a lot of different animations going on with different characters in each of the stages. Like, for instance, the old lady sitting outside Nicole's sort of flat is knitting away really ferociously quickly, but in the actual original version, she's going quite slowly. It's just little things like that that you notice that you know it's not quite right. Now, I've got up to this part, it probably hasn't been a major problem, and I guess most people will be absolutely fine. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to complete this section with the goat. There's plenty of walkthroughs online if you want to try and find it, so I don't want to ruin that particular part specifically. The point of this section is really to show you the ridiculous speed of the character animations, and occasionally there is a little pause, so the speed of the game is causing a problem with little sort of pauses and jumps here and there, and it just feels completely unnatural. And the speed of that it's almost like 50% faster than it really should be. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but that's what it feels like. And you can see here George is walking way too fast. Anyway, guys, let me get to the section where I'm actually completely stuck because I can't get past due to the speed the game is actually running. So once you actually get past and access to the dig site in Ireland, you need to basically soak this towel a couple of times and then make it to the dig site in time so that you can then soak the water over the plaster of Paris, so you can basically make a little bit of a statue to get access to a certain area. But it's actually timed, and I've never actually noticed that it was this bad before. I didn't have a problem playing this in any other version. I've played the remastered version, never had an issue with it. Reforged version recently, didn't have a problem reaching the dig site in time. But because of the way that the engine's running, it's running very, very quickly. You have very little room for error here. And I've tried this quite a few times now to reach the dig site, and it's just not happening. I just can't get there. I get to the dig site and it says the towel that I've got is barely damp. And I'm going to let this run in real time so you can see what I've been doing. Yet there might be a few occasions where I might need to be a little bit quicker, but there's very little margin for error here, so you need to quickly press the button to exit each area so you can get to the dig site very quickly. And there's about maybe 3 or 4 screens between here and the dig site, and by that time your toweling is completely, almost barely damp, as it keeps telling you, and it's very frustrating. I've already tried this maybe half a dozen times, and I'm really struggling with it. And I know there's a few people out there are struggling in this same section as well. I'm not really sure if there's a quicker way of doing this. Is there buttons I should be pressing to make George go a little bit quicker to the sections that we need to get to? Yeah, I've paused. Maybe I've lost vital seconds in some of these screens here, but for the best part, I think I haven't had too much of a delay. The sort of time to get to the dig site shouldn't be this tight. You should have some sort of room for error, but in this version of the game, I feel the clock speed is just running way too quickly, and you basically have next to no chance to actually make it. And this is the part that's basically breaking the game for me. I really think it needs a fix. We cannot let this game continue the way it is. It's not going to work. There might be even later stages throughout the game that you'll come across similar time sections that you might not be able to do because of the game running way too quickly. And I didn't initially think it would cause a massive problem. I mean, when you're playing the game, the character animations are fast, yes, but you can maybe just get over it. But you go through certain sections, it's quite obvious that it's not how it should be. And that's just my opinion. If anyone thinks I'm wrong, feel free to disagree, it's fine. Personally, I've played this game so many times that it just doesn't feel right to me. So eventually, we're now at the dig site. I might have had a few seconds lost here or there, but it's not been that many seconds lost. But we've got to the dig site. We need to sort of squeeze the towel over the sort of clay that's on the floor there to get yourself a sort of indentation needed to get through the next stage. But obviously I lost a few seconds here because I couldn't quite pinpoint the mark. But as soon as I've done it, it says the cloth is barely damp, and that is so annoying. Anyway guys, I would love to hear your feedback, what you think. Have you got past this section? What do you think? Have you played this before? Do you think the character animations are running too fast? For me, I think this is breaking the game and it ideally needs a fix. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.